Have you ever wondered what really makes a company tick? Beyond the cool products and the brilliant people, there's this hidden framework. It's like an architectural blueprint that decides how everything actually gets done. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. The blueprint of success, organizational structures. So let's just jump right in. What is that secret blueprint behind every single successful organization? I'll tell you. It's not just about having a killer idea or a team of geniuses. It's about how you arrange all of that talent and all of those ideas so they can actually work together without tripping over each other. All right, we're kicking things off with the absolute basics, the organizational blueprint. See, before we can even get into all the different types of structures, we got to understand what a structure even is and why it's so incredibly critical for any company's survival. So, what are we really talking about here? Well, an organizational structure is just the formal setup of roles, responsibilities, and authority. It's the official answer to questions like, who do I report to, and who gets to make the final call on this? Basically, it's the rule book for how work flows through a company. And believe me, this isn't just some abstract business school theory. A company's structure directly impacts how fast it can move, how clear everyone is on their job, and how well it can adapt to change. But maybe the most important thing, it shapes how people feel about their jobs every single day. Get the structure wrong, and you've got constant friction and confusion. Now, to really get a handle on this, it helps to think of all the possible structures as living on a spectrum. And at the two opposite ends, the two extremes, you've got mechanistic and you've got organic. Just about every company you can think of is some kind of blend of these two. On one side, you have the mechanistic structure. Think of a classic, old-school factory line. It's rigid, it's hierarchical, and all the big decisions come from the very top. It is built for one thing: predictable, stable efficiency. Then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have the organic structure. It's flexible, it's flat, and decisions are made all throughout the organization. This kind of structure is built for fast-changing, dynamic environments where innovation is the name of the game. Okay, so to see how these ideas actually play out in the real world, we're going to follow the story of a fictional company. Let's call it Innovate Inc. We're going to watch how its blueprint, its structure, has to evolve to meet brand new challenges at every single stage of its life. So Innovate Inc. starts out like a lot of companies do, as a scrappy little startup. It's super informal, totally organic. But as it grows, it desperately needs more specialization. Then it starts to diversify, and suddenly it's juggling a bunch of different products. And finally, when it's a mature company, it has to figure out how to balance all that expertise with the need to stay nimble. Every single stage demands a brand new blueprint. Right. Stage 1. Innovate Inc. is growing like a weed, and that old everyone does a little bit of everything approach just isn't cutting it anymore. It's chaos. They need to specialize. And the classic solution? The functional structure. They create dedicated departments. Marketing, R&D, finance, the whole deal. Now, this brings some much-needed order. The huge upside is that people get to develop really deep expertise in their fields. But, and this is a big but, a major downside pops up. You get these silos. The marketing team has no idea what the R&D team is doing, and any decision that needs both of them has to slowly travel all the way up the chain of command and then all the way back down. It's efficient inside the silo, but painfully slow across them. Okay, let's fast forward a few years. Innovate Inc. is a huge success. So successful, in fact, that it's launching totally new products and even expanding into different countries. That old functional structure, it's now the bottleneck holding everything back. It's officially time for stage 2, the divisional structure. So to solve this problem, the company basically reorganizes itself into a collection of mini companies, or divisions. Each one is focused on a specific product or a specific region. This gives them incredible focus and really clear accountability. You know exactly who's responsible for the success of product A. The problem? You get a ton of duplication. Suddenly you have a marketing team for product A and another one for product B, and pretty soon these divisions can start fighting each other for the company's money and resources. And now Innovate Inc. is a mature, complex, global company. It needs the deep technical expertise from its functional departments, but it also needs to be super responsive to the market, like its product divisions are. The big question is, how on earth do you get both at the same time? Well, this leads them to stage 3, the matrix structure. The matrix is a hybrid. It's a tricky design where an employee, let's say an engineer, actually reports to 2 different bosses. Yeah, 2 bosses. They report to their functional engineering manager for things like technical standards and quality, but they also report to a project manager for the specific product they're building right now. The whole idea is to get the best of both worlds. The big advantage here is amazing flexibility. You can move that engineer from one project to another as needs change, and it forces people to balance different perspectives. But, as you can probably imagine, having 2 bosses can cause some serious confusion and conflict. It takes a massive amount of coordination and a really strong company culture to pull it off without constant power struggles. But what about today's world? The hyper-fast, always-on environment we live in? These traditional models are being pushed to their absolute limits. And that brings us to these newer ideas, structures that try to operate almost without any walls at all, the networked and virtual designs. These are both highly organic models. The network structure sees the company more like a collection of teams that come together for projects and then break apart. The virtual structure takes it a step further, outsourcing almost everything to outside partners, with just a small core team coordinating it all. For both of them, the key idea is to maximize agility and collaboration, no matter what. So after going through all of that, which one is the best? Well, that brings us to maybe the single most important takeaway of this entire explainer: finding the right fit. Because there is no single best structure. It just doesn't exist. See, every single structure involves a major trade-off. That functional structure, it's fantastic for a stable environment where efficiency is everything, but your trade-off is those dreaded silos. The divisional structure gives you amazing focus, but at the cost of duplicating effort. And the matrix, it gives you incredible flexibility, but you're constantly risking confusion and conflict. It is always, always about choosing the trade-off that best fits your company's strategy and the world it operates in. There's a line from the source material that just puts it perfectly. A good structure does not guarantee success, but a poor fit can create persistent friction, confusion, and performance problems. So, structure isn't everything, but a bad one can absolutely be the anchor that sinks the entire ship. Which really leaves us with one final thought. Take a second and think about the place where you work, or any organization you know well. Ask yourself, is its structure really built to handle the challenges of the future, or is it still operating on a blueprint that was designed for the past?